5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Put everything down and crank your speakers up.
It's time for
The Realest Podcast.
Oh yeah!
And what is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realest Podcast, and welcome to January 30th, 2017's edition of the Monday Night Raw Review. I'm joined by, of course, as usual, Andrew Bass, no part-timer, and no guy whenever he just wants to show up. That nickname is stuck with them now. I hope they both know that.
Yeah, it's hilarious too because right now they're probably shaking their head listening, or they will be later on.
So before we get into it, I do have something I do want to get off my chest. Last night I really laid in on the Royal Rumble. Last night I really did, and I'll let Andrew comment if he has anything if he's wanting to add on. Last night I basically was saying that the Rumble was awful, and I stick to those comments. I am not apologizing for what I said, but as fans, especially with last night, we had every right to be as emotional as we were. The Rumble was a lot better than what I gave it. I still am going to give it a 6, but we didn't talk about it. We just laid in on the Rumble, and that's all I'm going to say. If there's anything you want to add.
I don't know. I personally enjoyed the Rumble up until the last few seconds of it. I mean, it's like you were telling me how bored you were with it. I enjoyed every second of it up until Roman came out. And for me, when Roman came out, that was kind of the final straw. And I know a lot of people felt the same way. And I know I listened to other podcasts and how they reacted to it. And, it's just not smart writing. It's just like some of the stuff I saw today on Monday Night Raw. It's just not smart writing. Like, one of the things that really irked me and really grind my gears, so to speak, is what they did with Sasha Banks. Yet again, she's coming in here getting squashed. And out comes Bayley. And she just stands there and looks at Nia as she keeps on, putting hold in like, hey, cut it out.
Hey, quit!
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell on you. You better quit. Stop.
I really want to know who writes some of this stuff so I can really, lay into them and make fun of them because, come on, what kind of writer would be like, all right, so we're going to have Captain America, he's going to kick down the door, and, he sees the Winter Soldier strangling the heck out of, Iron Man, and he's just, strangling to death, but, it's cool because, I'm just going to sit back and watch, maybe check out my shield. It gets me.
So, let's get into this. The big thing I want to say is, of course, Samoa Joe debuts tonight. When Triple H was giving his great promo, he said that, NXT, I'm creating more of Seth freaking Rollins. And I sat down and thought, it'd be awesome if Joe was to come out. And then, sure enough, I'm thinking, where's Joe? Where's Joe? And then, boom, and I'm like, and I'm not lying to you. My actual reaction was, yes! And before people freak out, and it's like, no, Joe's on Raw. No, he needs to be on SmackDown. I am actually interested in seeing where they go with this. And so, for me, I'm just going to sit back and let's see where this goes. Let's see what they do with this. Yes, it's Raw creative, and Raw doesn't have a good history of being good on creative. But let's see where this goes.
Yeah, I mean, when you really think about it, we've really seen the same heels and faces on Raw for the past few months, and really that's what's attributed to the fact that it's so scripted and overworked, and we just don't have any new faces, and now we have Samoa Joe, and I was thinking the same thing, like when he was talking about NXT, I'm like, I really wish Samoa Joe were here, and then I was thinking, I said, okay, so Seth Rollins, here he comes. Triple H isn't going to get involved with him tonight. Something's going to happen. Somebody's going to be here. Is it going to be like Braun Strowman? Like, who are they going to use to kind of negate Seth Rollins? Mm-hmm. And also, Samoa Joe comes out of nowhere. And my first initial reaction, I'm excited, 100%. But it's I for the first time in a long time, Raw has finally shocked me.
That last hour was actually really good. The last hour, I'll give it. It was actually really good.
which
Brock
which
Lesnar.
honestly
You had Paul
is
Heyman and Brock
is on.
Lesnar give their promo. Yeah, you had Enzo and Cass do their match, and Sasha Banks and Nia Jax, and that was kind of a eh. But like the promos and the surprises that happened was really good. Now the question that arises now is what is going to happen between Brock and Goldberg? Yeah, the challenge has been issued, but will it be for the Universal Championship? And now it starts to make sense because it is supposed to headline WrestleMania, and there is rumors going out that Kevin Owens will defend the Universal Championship at Fastlane against Goldberg.
Well, if WWE is smart, they're gonna have Goldberg come tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next Monday,
They are.
and he's supposed to address this supposed challenge. If WWE creative was smart, which they're not, but I hope they
I hope
are.
he says no.
Um, that's what I was just
I hope
saying.
he says
Yeah,
no.
that's
I'm
what I
not
was
doing
thinking.
it. I've already beaten him.
I hope, yeah, I hope Goldberg comes out and says, flat out, I've beaten you 3 times already, technically, twice in the ring, once at the Rumble. I'm done with you. You have nothing. I have nothing left to prove against you. Brush him off. And you know what? Instead of accepting Brock Lesnar's challenge, have him call out Kevin Owens. Have him demand a championship match at Kevin Owens. Have him take that championship from Kevin Owens if that's what you are planning on doing, and have Brock Lesnar off TV for a little bit. Have him off TV, and I would say have him appear at Fastlane and completely blindside Goldberg. That would be
Yeah.
perfect after he wins that
By the
championship.
way, check your Skype chat. I completely 100% agree with you. There's two ways you can do this. One, you could have the scenario you just said, and number two would be keep him off TV, have Goldberg win the Universal Championship, and then turn around and have like some like fatal 4-way for the number one contendership, and have Brock be like that surprise number 4 entrant. Yeah, it'll be on a Monday Night Raw, but if I'm not mistaken, he's been rumored to wrestle on TV. He's actually been rumored to wrestle on TV. Either him or Goldberg. I've been seeing it, but I was ignoring it because I was looking for WrestleMania news.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go from it. I'm optimistic about it. I just really hope for their sakes that they take that approach and don't have Goldberg come out and be like, "You bet your ass I'm on for one more match." Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be better for them to have him play down the angle because now it's like you said last night at the Royal Rumble show. It'll be just like what happened between Eddie Guerrero and Brock Lesnar. Goldberg came out and screwed him out of the championship. It would be picture perfect if Brock Lesnar did the same thing to Goldberg. He finally wins that championship, and um, Goldberg will go up against Brock Lesnar, and he'd be the one that tries to take it back.
Let me propose this question to you though: would you rather have Samoa Joe debut in the Rumble last night, or are you okay with what he did tonight? I'll be honest with you. I'm okay with what he did tonight. I'm actually kind of satisfied. He
Honestly,
beat the shit out of Seth Rollins, and that was something that was needed, 100%.
if you put Samoa Joe in the Rumble, and if he didn't win it, it looks bad on him. It's like a waste of a debut. So, yeah, I'm okay with what they did tonight. They had him debut, looked strong. He destroyed Seth Rollins. Um, I, I like what they're doing. I'm curious what is going to go on with Samoa Joe. I really don't see him facing Seth Rollins at Fastlane. If he does, it'll be very hard to predict a winner because you really shouldn't have Seth Rollins lose going into his match with Triple H, and you really shouldn't have Samoa Joe lose either.
By the way, Laredo, Texas, I'm very disappointed in you. You were supposed to be louder than that. But speaking of more opportunities, Sami Zayn beat Chris Jericho clean.
Oh yes,
Does that give Sami? Will we see Sami Zayn go for the United States title in the future?
I'd say Sami Zayn will challenge Chris Jericho at Fastlane, and Jericho will drop the title.
Yeah, and speaking of opportunity, Bailey pinned Charlotte clean. to open again another feud and once again another match between her and Charlotte.
Well, if I remember right, this is one of your biggest pet peeves, and they did it twice today, where
The
a
champion.
challenger will be
See,
pinned,
okay.
or the
My
champion pinned.
my pet peeve is when a number one contendership is with the champion versus an opponent. That's my big pet peeve. Now, having Bailey pin Charlotte in that situation doesn't bug me. The Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho, I mean, I can't say it bugs me because it technically wasn't even a number one contendership. It was just a match, just to be there.
Which it'll turn into because
It
he pinned.
will, but like giving the title, this is a number one contendership match, and putting your champion in there, why not just make it a championship match?
Right.
And that's where my pet peeve comes in. I'm fine with what happened tonight. Yeah, that kind of sounds hypocritical thinking about it, but it's just when you call. I mean, where I don't remember exactly when it was. I want to say it was I don't, but Charlotte or the challenge was out there saying, "Hey, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was against Bailey. If Bailey beats you, she's number one contender." And it's like, oh, okay. And then,
Well, I mean, it's not too hard to reach back into your memory because Raw has had had an act for doing that in the last few months. It seems like almost every month a rivalry has started because of a champion getting pinned, and most of the time it's Charlotte who's getting pinned.
yeah, you're right. But I mean, Charlotte still looks as strong as ever when it goes to pay per view. So again, I don't see Charlotte losing her belt until WrestleMania. So I don't know what they're gonna do at Fastlane. I could honestly and truthfully just seeing a tag team match because Bailey and Sasha are getting really close right now, and Nia Jax and Charlotte facing off against Sasha and Bailey and Sasha beating them, and then Bailey giving her first loss at WrestleMania.
I don't know. I'm not sold on the Nia Sasha thing. You know why? I mean,
I'm not
I've said it
either.
multiple times. I'm sick and tired of the injury angle. I mean, they
If they do the
deserve.
injury angle, they need to do it right, like what they're doing with Shinsuke Nakamura. Like that
Yeah,
is
but
how
they're
it needs to be done.
not though. It seems like every week. Oh, it's her knee. Oh, she's hurting. Oh,
At this
it's
point,
just
it's like, why the hell is the doctors letting her compete if her knee is getting this messed up?
right. I mean, it's not only that. It's just when you really look at the grand scheme of things, it's like Sasha Banks is known, um, as that competitor, the one that really redefines what the women's wrestling is, in my opinion, anyway. And now she's going up against Nia Jax, getting absolutely creamed, and you know, it's not even the fact that they're putting Nia over and protecting Nia, which they are. It's the fact that they're putting over Nia, and the reason for Sasha's loss, at least every single time, is they're like, oh, it's because she's not 100%. It's because she has a knee injury. It's really, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. It really brings down the stock of Sasha Banks.
If she keeps getting destroyed like she is, I'm eventually going to have to turn around and say she needs to turn heel. But I think as of right now, she's getting there. But she's still okay right now, and I think if she is to go off against Bailey, I think that is what's going to happen. Is Sasha's going to turn heel? So I'm calling it right now. In the foreseeable future, I can guarantee you we're going to be seeing Sasha turn heel.
Which is probably best for business, so to speak.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see Bailey versus Sasha again.
This, and then we have the WWE Universal Championship: Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens, and of course, I mean, everyone and their moms knew what was going to happen. Roman Reigns interferes, costing Braun Strowman the championship. And think of this: Braun Strowman, who they have made a monster, is about to be a jobber. Against who? Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, I'm calling it now, will face Braun Strowman at Fastlane, beat Braun Strowman to give him some momentum, and then go into WrestleMania to face The Undertaker.
Man, I don't know. I mean, if you look at what happened tonight, it really scares me. I mean, in my honest opinion, I don't think Roman Reigns should beat Braun Strowman in his first match with him
Mhm.
at a pay-per-view. I really think if you're
It
gonna
isn't his
run
first
that
match.
angle,
Sami Zayn, can't forget about that.
yeah, but I'm talking about between Roman Reigns. So if it's like the first part of their feud, I would have extended it over at least 2 pay-per-views. The way I would have done it is have Braun Strowman beat Roman Reigns. You can make Roman Reigns look as strong as you want to look. He's always going to look strong in the eyes of Vince and Raw Creative. But I would have Braun Strowman go over on Roman Reigns, destroy him. Because if you do that, it is at least playing into the stock that he's, the guy who's going to end Braun Strowman. And when he does finally beat Braun Strowman, it'll have a lot more momentum and a lot more prestige that he took down this big beast after getting destroyed.
Mhm.
And, to have him go up against Strowman like that and beat him on his first try, I really feel bad for what they've done for Strowman and where it's going to lead him in the future. It's really going to hurt him.
I'll say this with Braun or with Neville. I'm gonna put Neville up here. I'm not gonna enjoy this angle if he's gonna call himself a king. He's like, "You do not put your hand out to a king. You get on your knees and you bow."
Yeah, it's starting to get too far. I mean, I still like Neville as a heel, um, but I think that the Raw creative is trying too hard now to really force feed that idea that he's a king.
I don't
And
know.
I don't know. I mean, I think that they need to end this feud with Rich Swann very quickly, and I think they need to put up somebody else against him.
Who do you put up there?
Um,
There's no faces. T.J. Perkins hasn't been a single thing since the Cruiserweight Classic.
yeah, and
Brian
that's the
Kendrick is, I guess he got released or something because he hasn't been on TV in months, or in about a month. I mean, who else is there?
I mean, the only 2 people you can really put up there as of right now is T.J. Perkins, who they really haven't done any justice for. It's a shame because he's a really entertaining superstar. And Mustafa Ali, but in all honesty, I think the guy's too green to go up against Neville. I mean, even as like a placement, and when I mean like a placement, like when I look at Alexa Bliss and Naomi, I see Naomi as a placement for a bigger feud. It's just something to get through Elimination Chamber before you give her another person like Nikki Bella.
Oh
Um,
man, I could honestly see Nikki Bella going for that title at Mania.
but I mean, yeah, I mean, it would be excellent to see that
I
feud.
don't know
But
if it
like,
would be excellent. I think they need to keep Nikki away from it. I think what she's doing right now with these stupid feuds about John Cena involved for some reason is fine. I don't think that she needs to be in anything involved with that title because I think they need to keep it with what they're doing. But then again, I mean, who do you throw it up with? I mean, you honestly, we might see Nikki Bella. I wouldn't be mad to a point where I'm not gonna watch it, but I
right.
personally wouldn't put her up there.
But in my opinion, I feel like sometimes those placement matches are perfect for setup matches.
Hmm.
And for me, looking at the cruiserweight division, looking at the United States Championship division, you're gonna want to have those little proxy matches, you know. And once Sami Zayn wins that title from Chris Jericho, I'd love to see like one of the guys from the Raw roster, step up. And it could be anybody from Rusev. I mean, there's so much that you could do with Sami Zayn, and it would be amazing. But that's the thing that I think the WWE has been missing lately is they've been focusing on a lot of big matches and having repeat feuds like they had Sasha and Charlotte over and over and over again. I think that sometimes you need to take a break from that and you need to put up one of those proxy matches just
Yeah.
to kind of get you through a pay-per-view and kind of set up something bigger.
Yeah, we still don't know what's going to go on a lot with a lot of stories. The Kevin Owens storyline is they're still up in the air. I'm sure that'll pick up next week when Goldberg is, I'm sure, going to call him out and issue a challenge for the title. Sami Zayn will probably be going up for the U.S. title. Sasha Banks and Nia Jax continues. Same for Bayley and Charlotte. Again, I could easily see those two wrestling, or those four wrestling at Fastlane in a tag team match, which is, just to get by. That way they can get their big match away at WrestleMania. Trying to think. Brock Lesnar will be wrestling Goldberg, more than likely for the Universal Championship. Gallows and Anderson, more than likely again, are going to end up wrestling Cesaro and Sheamus at Fastlane. I'm sure if Cesaro and Sheamus end up losing the title, who do you put in front of them, or who do you put in that situation? To be honest with you, I think the Revival are going to show up at SmackDown tomorrow.
I hope so. I really do. I would like to see that. But there's too much speculation, and it's just like for Raw, it's like you said, who do they really put up for those titles? I mean, you're not going to do the New Day. I hope they don't do the New Day. How many times have we seen the New Day and the Club over the past few months? So I mean, I really don't want that. But what other face tag teams on Raw do we have?
There really isn't one.
I think there's more heel tag teams on Raw right now than there is face teams.
I mean, if we're talking big tag teams, I mean, honestly and truthfully, I just thought about this. You have, what's their names? Gallows and Anderson win at Fastlane, and you give Enzo and Cass the opportunity at Mania.
Yeah, that would be a good feud. And it's something we haven't seen too much of. But I don't know. I guess I forget about Enzo and Cass because of what with them.
Yeah, I do it too.
And it's a shame too because they're good together. They're great on the mic, and they're very entertaining. But it's kind of like they don't know what they're doing with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like they're throwing them out there every week just for the kids.
Now, I do know that the Revival were supposed to feud with TM61, but since the recent knee injury, I could easily see them debuting tomorrow and then turning around and going after American Alpha, which would be an outstanding feud. American Alpha need a feud. So we'll see. I know that tomorrow is going to be John Cena's night, and the same with Randy Orton. I'm sure AJ Styles is going to be pissy little brat. Yeah, it's really what it is. Other than Samoa Joe debuting, not a lot happening on Raw. Kind of a boring night, as usual, for Monday Night Raw. I mean, I really, that's it, man. Like, we really did cover everything. Not a lot, anything else to cover. I think we should sign off here. What do you think?
I mean, unless you have anything else to talk about. I mean, the only thing we really talk about is Joe. I mean, what's the creative direction for Joe, do you think, heading into WrestleMania?
I don't see him. It's obviously obvious it's not going to be him versus
Rollins.
Seth
Well,
Rollins. It's obvious.
I think that's a problem in a handbasket if they put them together in Fastlane, because no matter who wins, somebody loses. No?
I honestly don't know, because in that situation, Joe would end up losing, and you don't need Joe losing immediately.
No, that's what I'm saying. And if Joe destroys Seth Rollins, I really don't see that benefiting him going.
Again, that's the thing about Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is very good at losing and still looking great. He can lose and still look good. And I'm right on this. Even with TNA, he can lose and still look good. It just depends on how it happens.
I just don't think that he should lose his first pay-per-view. I don't think Samoa Joe should lose a match at all. I think he should go strong through WrestleMania and really dominate. I think he should go undefeated, to be completely honest.
If Brock and Goldberg are for the title, I could honestly see Finn Balor facing Joe at Mania.
You know what? I like that idea. I really do.
Assuming
I
that
think
Finn
that would be a
shows
good
up.
feud. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they could run the angle. Yeah, you might be a monster. Yeah, you might be a badass, but don't forget who knocked you down a peg in NXT.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, I don't know, and I think that's where we're going to end up ending this. I mean, again, not a lot to talk about tonight. We'll be live immediately following SmackDown. So until then, peace out.